Space Shuttle Discovery still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Here.
We're here.
Hello, Twitch. If you've made
Hello.
it here via way of Jake's tweet, congrats. It means that he was successful in firing off a tweet. We look good.
What did it say?
We're joined with this lovely background today.
You should definitely offset it just a bit so you don't have to like sit over to the side the whole time.
That's gonna require some photo editing. I'm actually already bored of this, so I'm gonna turn it off.
Bring it in.
God.
If things get stale or stagnant, bring it in and
to revitalize the episode,
yeah.
right?
Look at us. We got some good turnout today here. I'm glad everyone's here with us. Sunday we had a
Good
launch. Probably too early for you two.
I watched it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did not.
You'd
about
think that it was a reasonable time on the East Coast, yet I woke up and went, oh, I wonder how the launch is tracking. And then I opened Twitter, and it was like 5 minutes ago the stream ended. I was like, oh, okay, well, there goes that chance to see that one.
Good for you, man. Sleeping in. That's I always like anyone who sleeps in. I'm always just like, well done, well done. I can't do it. So.
Are you a get up and go kind of person? Like you're ready at the crack of dawn to get up and move?
It's Sunday, and I started work at 6:15 this morning, I think. So.
Oh my god!
Jesus Christ.
Like your day job or this kind of stuff? Or
This
fun
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
My
You
other
can't tell the
job.
difference anymore.
Yeah, it's all blending together. right now,
Yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah.
Jake, I'm working on a little something different here.
Are you? Oh, you have a corkscrew?
I do. I have a wine.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
is this an off-nominal first? Have you ever had
For
wine?
me, there was a wine. Chris Carberry had wine on the show once. I believe that's the only wine appearance that we've had since, like ever.
There's been a couple whiskeys, I think.
Ooh.
A couple of cocktails as well, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. That's a pretty tight bottle, though. Got it. So we ready to do this thing?
I think so. Let's fire up some theme music
Okay.
and get
gonna
this
do the intro?
off-nominal up and running.
Are you going to do the intro for us?
Sure. Yeah, I can do the intro.
First, got to hit this button over here.
I can't hear the music, by the way, so.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'll just point to you again, as I always do.
Okay.
I don't know why Skype always changes it away from my mix minus. Do that, hit this button.
CLS's go for
There's
main
intro
engine,
music
start.
right now. Oh, did you hit record on cast?
Yep.
Go
Okay,
at
good.
throttle up.
We've made that mistake before.
Ooh. Yeah.
Had to do the whole intro again. Jake, you got T minus 5. Get a set.
Then we
With a
see
nominal
a nominal
Miko.
Miko. Welcome to space.
Hello. Welcome back to the show. We're here. Another off-nominal.
Every time it
This
comes
is
up,
the
I'm like,
intro.
holy crap, it's been a month. This is
I know,
insane.
right? This is like off-nominal always ends up being, it should not be, but it always ends up being like an afterthought to all the other product stuff. It's like this one day I'll be like, we're due. We need to do this now. And it's like, oh shit, let's get some friends and what's our topic? News. And then
News, get somebody agreeable, like Jason Davis from the Planetary Society. How you doing, Jason?
Hey guys, I'm doing just wonderful. That sounded more. I don't think that sounded very convincing. You know?
It was good. It was good. I liked it.
Good days and bad days, we'll say. Yeah.
Hey, that's kind of all you can hope for nowadays. So
it really
it's
is.
just like
It's all about the batting average.
Oh
yeah.
man, yeah.
That's
yeah.
a baseball reference, Jake? It's a thing we used to have in the States. I guess they got it in Canada also.
Yeah, we have a team.
Hey team.
This is
They're
Jason's
gonna- are
second
they-
appearance here, right?
Yeah.
Jason's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
came-
cut off the whole baseball talk. We should have kept that
Come on, we
rolling.
wanted to do baseball bits. No, it's fine. God.
I'm glad it was moving on because I don't know
Yeah.
any baseball stuff. So there's like I think there's like a circuit you do in baseball. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you score goals and you run.
There's like a big baseball stick, and then
yes.
There's a circuit. I like the idea of a circuit. Like they're running between the bases and they're like, here's 20 push-ups over there, here's 20 burpees.
yeah. Yeah. And if you can make it all the way through the circuit, you score a goal. So it's good.
Yeah.
Got some metal noises for you over there.
Metal noises.
Jake, what are you drinking over there?
What
It's
am I
early. This is a
drinking?
matinee edition for the
This is a
Europeans. We decided to be nice. We got a good turnout last time for the matinee. It's quarantine time anyway, so we figure why not?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I love including the Europeans because they're very kind to us. They treat us pretty well. I like them. There's some good Europeans in our Discord. There's some good Europeans on Twitter.
On the space station occasionally?
Space Station, some good Europeans. It's good. It's good stuff.
I like the way you're describing them. Like the majority of Europeans, awful people, but there are some good ones out there that we're aware of.
And they all listen to this show. It's like a very specific, the Venn diagram of good Europeans and off-nominal listeners. Basically a circle. That's great. So I have a new one. So straight up, I have a liquor store across the street from my house. It's like a very famous story on the show. So I just like stroll over there and get beer whenever I want. But they're legit like starting to run out of like selection. I don't know what it is, like just because of the quarantine. Like they still have lots of beer, but like the quantity of types is like reducing and reducing. There used to be this whole like freezer full of different craft beers, and like every week one of the rows is like gone, and they consolidate up and just like fill it up with like Coors Light, and it's just like it's like breaking my heart. So I'm running out of things to do. And the ones they had yesterday were not good. So I ended up switching to cans, which I don't normally do.
Wow, that's a big day right there.
It is,
a
yeah.
new low.
So this is from Nelson Brewing. Nelson's in the interior of BC. It's called Valhalla Hazy Pale Ale. And
Wow.
it's got this mountain climber guy on the top there, which is, I think it's a mountain climber. What does it say? Yeah, wilderness, British Columbia, trees. You know, it is Pacific Southwest stuff.
Now, is that a big
So,
boy? Is that a... How many ounces is that sucker?
473 milliliters.
Milliliters,
It's a
whatever.
pint. It's like a pint, isn't it?
Those European
18 ounces, 20
milliliters.
ounces? 20 ounces, I think. It's like bigger than normal can. It's like
It
a tall
really
boy.
rolls off the tongue when you sing about it in like a hip hop song or something. 437 millimeters. Oh, wait, I just said millimeters.
Millimeters.
Milliliters.
Jason cracked his open early, turns out.
Yeah.
What do you got
No,
over
I've
there?
Drunk all day. I have a really. I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just whatever Trader Joe's has in stock at this point because every little errand seems like such a monumental task at this point. So just going to the grocery store and seeing whatever they have. So this is a Santan Hop Shock IPA. It's a local
Whoa.
beer out of Phoenix, and they're kind of everywhere here. So
That's a
yeah.
nice
Yeah.
color to that can.
It is lovely. The city of Phoenix gets to do a lot of cool stuff with their, they got the bird, the flames, the bird and the flames. Yeah. You can talk about something else. We can talk about
It's
the
like,
damn
that's all.
bird.
Apparently, he's got nothing on Philly, nothing on Phoenix. You got...
It's good. You activated the Phoenix contingent of the listeners in
Yeah.
the chat there. They're like, hey, oh,
Phoenix has never come
All
up.
their ears
Phoenix.
perked up. Now Anthony's the one
All right.
that's going to turn this on its side here.
Yeah,
What is
I've
this?
broke out some wine. So I don't know. I got a, much like we've been talking about, going to the stores, the whole thing. So I got a coupon to order some wine online. Also a whole thing because I live in Pennsylvania where they're very touchy about that. So I had to deliver it to someone in Jersey and then pick it up from their house. I just ordered a whole box. Figured this would get us through a couple of weeks. So I've got a little Soave here. It's a white wine from the Veneto region.
Ooh.
Tried out a couple. I bought a bunch of different kinds, but it's pretty good. Monte Fiorentine. Figured I'd take it a little Italian. I like a nice, this time of year, very refreshing Sunday afternoon white wine drinking. I feel like it just fits the whole. It's been nice out. Been sitting in like my deck here, right off the edge of the studio. So I figured we need some of this. Class it up here for our off-nominal.
Are you
Go ahead, Jason.
I was just gonna say, are you a wine guy? Do you know your wines? Are you a wine knower?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna like. I like trying stuff, but I can't like
Yeah.
tell you what notes there are and things like that.
Yeah.
Are
I
you a
tried it
sangria guy?
once.
Oh no, it's too sweet.
Oh, I love sangria.
It's too sweet.
A good summer wine is I know I'm gonna pronounce it wrong. It's Beaujolais or Beaujolais.
Beaujolais,
Yeah, it's like a red wine. You can just chill it a little bit, and then it's just very easy drinking. I don't know that much about wine, but
No, it sounds like we're on the same level, so we should maybe...
Somebody told me that at a store once, and I immediately internalized it like, yes.
Now
It's
I
like, it
have
was
a
some
wine
winery.
fact.
Turns out there's a winery in Phoenix. It had a bird and a flame on it. It's weird, this whole thing.
Look at this bottle.
All right. Well, cheers, guys.
It's good to be here.
Cheers.
Happy
Happy
quarantine. Yeah.
It's been, I feel like, the last couple of Off-Nominals, because we've been on these teens weekends. So the one that we did in March was like right after everything shut down over here, right? We do it right before or after that? I forget. It was right around that. And then the next one, we've kind of been settling in. There was really no space news, so we talked all about the NASA worm last time. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I've corrected I did not have a NASA worm shirt last time that we were talking about the NASA worm, and then I saw a link in the Discord come by, and I was like, well, I gotta rectify that issue, so I bought one of these.
That's a nice NASA worm shirt.
Yeah, pretty comfortable, you know?
Yeah.
But then we got some space news now.
We do have some space news, yeah.
Yeah. It's good times to be a JB fan.
It is a great time to be a JB fan.
Wearing my
and
pen.
I see that, yeah. And so, so Jason, we had you on episode 9, I think. So this is episode 30. Episode 9, 21 episodes ago. We actually have something that we need to confess to you. In addition to just the fact that we love hanging out with you and drinking beers and talking about space, we have a super secret reason for bringing you on the show this week.
Okay. All right.
So I know we talked about how we just throw these together very randomly, and in most cases that's true, but there is a plan here.
Is this some kind of gotcha journalism? Is this? Are you going to bring up a take that I had and show me how?
Hope you
wrong
liked
it
that
was?
new job that you had for a little while. No, actually, I've been... All right, so I pulled a clip from your appearance.
Okay.
And
Let's hear it.
I listened back. It's about a minute long. I'll play it here. We'll take a trip back in time. And it held up, like, shockingly well. Like, we could drop
Okay.
this minute in without mentioning it to this conversation, and it would be fine. Like, it's
All
sharp.
right.
So...
Oh, this is exciting. Okay.
Here we go. I'm gonna here. We got some multimedia experience. I'll show people this nice tweet that we had. I don't know if you can hear this.
It probably depends on in this hypothetical situation where a Democrat wins in 2020, it depends on whether that Democrat runs on I'm not Trump or if they run on here's my new idea and just pick me over Trump, right? Like, because that seems to be the challenge right now that in candidates that we see, right? It's, are they just a not Trump or are they actually the
Even
wrong
so much
person,
as
right?
like we're gonna change it to the Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway, even though it's the same damn thing.
Totally not the same thing. Totally not.
Well,
yeah.
it could be, right? Like, or maybe they'll just keep Bridenstine, but they'll change his name, right?
They start calling him. They rebrand him. He's like,
Yeah.
JB. Yo, JB.
JB.
That sounds so much better.
To connect with the youth, the millennials.
How do you do, fellow kids? He starts-
Skateboarding through,
Yeah,
Building
you-
9 or whatever. This held up shockingly well.
It
Hey,
We're
held
back
up
in
really
real
well.
time now. We're back in 2020.
Yeah.
It's so good. So
Jake really had the political take there. He's like, guys, let me lay it out for
pretty
you.
good, right? Yeah.
And
I don't want to brag, but I've listened to a couple 538 podcasts before, so like, I know what I'm talking about here.
I just
but
am
yeah,
shocked
so-
at how that was June 2018, and it
June
feels like so
2018.
much has changed, and yet
Yeah.
how much has?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
it's a lot.
depressing as hell.
But
No, it's good though. It's good.
you were the progenitor of JB, which has
Yeah.
stuck throughout.
You said you wanted to spawn a meme. Well, you did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm honored that the JB thing held up, and I'm also congratulations, by the way, that you all got your JB interview for Off-Nominal, right? You had him on the show.
We didn't have him on the
No.
show. We met with him and told
What?
him about the show,
Yeah.
and we gave him the pin. He was pumped to hear about it.
No, but I thought you turned around and came back for the interview and everything.
Turns out we just have you.
What a shitty consolation prize.
But what we do have, Jake, you want to do
Yeah,
this
we do have
unveil
something.
here?
Yeah, we did something good here. So you spawned the meme. JB became a thing. We've told the whole story here lots of times. Episode 24 is the story of the pins. Our listener Kevin got us these pins, these lovely pins that we're wearing here today. We took them to IAC. You were there. We got one to Jim. It was a whole big thing. Very exciting. But we've gotten a lot of requests to get more pins. How do I get a pin? How do you get a pin? And we kind of just had a few of them because Kevin made them for this, and they were they were gone, and then we kind of ran out. They were gone at IAC. So we dragged our heels a little bit. We talked about it. Should we get more pins? And, we should get more pins, but we didn't want to just print another run and just, we wanted to make a splash with it. We wanted to do something exciting. So, Anthony, do you want to load up a web browser? Can we show a web browser?
I've got it pulled up here.
Okay. So, and listeners, you can do this along with us. Just head over to jimbridensteinfan.club.
And then extraordinarily professional.
That up.
Wait, I gotta do this.
This is a shockingly professional website, I would say.
You might say that I've learned a couple things
through
about
it. Jake, this is made by a real professional.
So it's jimbridensteinfan.club, you said?
.club,
That's
yeah. I nabbed that .club domain.
.club.
So you navigate to this website, and you're going to see the refreshed, exciting Jim Bridenstine Fan Club crest.
God.
The official Jim Bridenstine Fan Club crest. We've got the whole origin story on there, so you can peruse it and learn about the history. And you can now buy a membership to the JBFC. Not only does it come with a pin, this is the pin here, so I'll show this on the... I don't know if you're showing me here, but...
Yeah, they can see you. Here, I'll make you full screen there.
Okay, so there's the lovely pins.
Pin.
They're a little bit bigger than the old ones. So you can see... Here's a side-by-side comparison.
I'm showing off your website here because people don't know.
This is dope.
You gotta get those in focus, Jake.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's really hard to... Anyway.
It's a serious crest.
And you can get your own membership card, which looks like this. And on the back, it's got your unique membership number. So, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it...
a picture of Tori holding the pen. That's so great. Oh, my God.
IAC was very good to us.
So good.
Yeah.
Question I've always been curious about when you sell T-shirts like this. Are these like photoshopped onto models, like stock models, or do you actually get people to wear your shirt and get photographed?
We found these two very in shape people, and we were like, "Please wear this shirt."
No, these are
programmatically
generated, I guess.
Okay.
By the way, if you're going to be one of those people that gets anything photoshopped onto them, you better have a really good contract. I could design anything and put that on there. For instance, you could be JBFC member here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get shirts. As you can see in my reveal here, I am wearing one of the shirts. They're great. It's a nice crest here. And probably my favorite thing that you can get is the mug.
It's a good mug.
This is the Jim Bridenstine Fan Club official mug, which is good for coffee. It's good for tea. It's good for, I don't know, Mountain Dew, probably, beer.
So many props.
Whatever you want to put in it, it's good to go. So
he came ready with the props, Jason.
I love props.
Has Jim seen this? That is the big question.
Well, we just launched it literally 5 seconds ago. So
Okay.
he saw the original pin. He has a couple of those.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Jake, maybe fire off a tweet, tag him in that.
Did it weird him out, or was he like, "This is cool. These guys are like, fans," or was he like, "What the hell is this?"
Kind of hard to tell. Maybe a mix of each.
Yeah.
I think it oscillated. Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, he didn't seem to mind hanging out. Seemed like he was down with it. So he's a nice, personable man.
That's why
I don't know how pumped Christian Davenport was when we walked out of hanging out with JB, and he was like, "I'm getting held up for these two jokers. What the hell's going on here?" So he looked a little confused, but other than that, seems okay. Jake, we're getting some comments in the Twitch chat here that's saying that they're glad that your boot camp is paying off.
Yeah.
You spent all of that time in boot camp to make the JBFC launch.
Well, whether it pays off really depends on them, I guess, right?
That's a good point, yes. Always be closing.
Always be closing.
So that's why we brought you here, Jason. Hope you enjoyed
Good stuff, guys.
the appearance on the podcast. We'll have you back some other time.
All right.
What are we talking about here, Jake?
Product.
Well, we can kind of talk whatever we want, but I thought maybe we'd start with a little bit from Jason. So, Jason, you've been doing some different kind of work at Planetary Society. I'd love to hear like a update. What are you doing now? What's on your burner here?
What is on the burner? Yeah, I like to check my email. I'm very good at checking my email. I will reply to your email. No, that's what a friend used to joke. It's not a very good joke. In IT, he would say, I'm very good at checking my email. Yeah, so what do I do with the Planetary Society now? Let's see, when was this? This was like in October of last year. Our comms director, Danielle Gunn, came to me and convinced me to become our editorial director and oversee a new content strategy for the Planetary Society. So that sounds terribly boring and marketing eased and everything, but basically we have this new strategic plan. It's like a 5-year plan that businesses or nonprofits do. And we're going to try to grow to like 75,000 members. That's a significant increase from what we have now. And really try to embrace this theme of space for everyone. So traditionally, if you follow the Planetary Society, we're more of the expert type content. You got to sometimes know your way around planetary science when you come in and have that knowledge base already. But we're going to try to make it more welcoming to people who have not had any experience in planetary missions or planetary science, and kind of cater to both audiences. And that's part of the strategic plan to kind of grow our membership. So that and yeah, long story short, that's what led to kind of me implementing some of that, doing our content. And we're getting a new website that's rolling out later this year. Terribly painful process for anyone who's been through a website migration probably knows. A new back-end content management system. So just a lot going on. And I've been busy. Quarantine has been a busy time for me.
Are you the man behind the downlink and the naming of the downlink?
I am, yeah. So,
do you, by any chance, use a fantastic Mac app called Downlink?
No.
There's some copyright infringement.
Yeah, me and you are going to personally fight about this. I'm just kidding.
Do you have an app?
I made an app called Downlink, and then the Downlink came out, and I was like, well, shit, this is some good marketing opportunity.
Did you copyright that?
No.
Here's where you went wrong, man. Can't come at
I have a hard time thinking that I would get the
thing.
Planetary Society, nor would I want to pursue a takedown of the Downlink because of my tiny Mac app Downlink that is free on the Mac App Store.
What does Downlink do on the Mac?
It's actually pretty rad. You might like it if you have a Mac. It is a thing that runs in the background, and it pulls imagery off of the GOES satellites. Live imagery right down to your desktop. Makes it your desktop background. You can choose different views. Cool. It's pretty rad. I would check it out. Yeah. I would recommend it to you, the maker of the Downlink.
Well, see, I have "the" in front of my name, and
yeah.
No,
huge difference.
The story behind the Downlink. So we did have, so as part of this transition, right? We decided, like, what's the Planetary Society unique in? And the one thing we realized we cannot do is chase. Sorry, this is like terribly this might be terribly boring to some of the people listening to hear me talk about like nonprofit, marketing strategies and communication strategies. But anyway, we decided what do we have to offer that is unique in the space media landscape? And we have all this like expert perspective, right? We have like Emily Lakdawala who can drop 5,000 words on you on what Curiosity's been up to or something like that. And then we had me kind of doing these weird, like little unfocused pieces. Like I would write something like I would cover Hayabusa just because like nobody else covers Hayabusa. You have Casey Dreyer who does our space policy stuff. And so like there was always this assumption like should we compete with like the space.coms of the world that, the people who are out there on the front line putting out content on every piece of news? And the answer was no, we shouldn't and we can't. There's no reason to do that. So that kind of, but we still care. We want to show people that we're paying attention because we are. We talk about all this stuff internally. Our Slack channel's like, hey, check it, this random planetary thing happened. And so we came up with the downlink as a way to like, okay, we'll just have succinct news items, a newsletter. Everyone's doing newsletters these days. And so I had started that first, and then the rest of our comms team like turned that into like a more broad, like, I don't know, it's got like pretty pictures and actions you can take and get involved type stuff. And we needed a name for it, and we were God, and if you've ever been, any organization, you know how painful something like brainstorming a name for a new product can be.
Dude.
This literally, like, we use Basecamp, like the Basecamp thread was like 50 comments long, and every time we thought we had one, somebody'd be like, oh, well, and point out a reason why it was shit, and we'd be like, oh my God, no, we got to start over. And so finally, I came up with the downlink, and then we started looking, and National Space Society uses it in one of the things they do, but they just call it downlink, and it's like a member thing they do, slightly different, and really splitting hairs here. And Space News for a while, like many years ago, they decided to try a thing with Jeff Faust called the downlink that we found when we were searching. But they only did it like once, and they like retired it. And we were like, and it had been 5 years, and we were like, okay, if they wanted the name downlink, then we.
And they got first up now. Faust was like, man, I love baseball.
Yeah.
We got to get a baseball reference in on this.
Right, exactly, yeah. So we, that's where all that came from. So that's the really boring, long story behind all that.
I just thought it sounded good, and it made sense for my app, and I picked it. I didn't have a Basecamp thread, so.
You didn't have anybody to challenge your,
I didn't even ask Jake about it.
You didn't have a committee.
No. Jake and I did struggle for a long time over Jim Bridenstine fan.club, though.
Yeah, that was a difficult one.
Do you do jbfc.space? Do you do Jim Bridenstine. Whatever else? Pizza? Who knows? I forget what we went through. We went through a lot of them, though.
Pizza, there's limo that I hear people using a lot.
Limo. What a terrible one.
Yeah.
Jason, so that sounds like all that what you just said kind of sounds like a really nice way to say, are you basically like the boss of the Planetary Society now? Like, do you just have...
Yeah, higher than Bill. Definitely. Like, Bill checks in with me every morning, asks me what his day. No, no, just in charge of the content.
Just the content.
Just the content. Yeah.
Just the content. Just most of the work that's going on day to day.
It's a small amount of stuff.
No, it's a very small team. Yeah, and we've been hiring some freelancers too, which has been a lot of fun. I grossly overestimated. Like we brought on a bunch of freelance writers, and I grossly overestimated how much editing work I would be able to do like during quarantine, because like having a kid at home just shoots half the day. Like my wife and I do like shifts where one of us is like fully immersed working for half the day, and then the other one's on duty. And then so like all these freelancers started sending me these pieces. We're building all these new missions and worlds pages for our sites, and I just felt terrible because all these drafts just kept rolling in. And I'm like, oh shit, sorry. Like, I'll get to that in like a week or two because I'm way behind. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was say congratulations. Then that sounds like a pretty cool update to your career. So
I remember it the last time you were on. I think we talked about like what happens after light sail. Because that's a thing I have to figure out. So I'm glad that we're like bookending this. I figured it out.
Yes.
No problem. Yeah.
The story's been completed. Yeah. Oh man,
that's great. Cool.
Can we do a quick sidebar as a follow-up from our last show where we talked about logos and all this? It looks like Jason is wearing a super rad space shirt with an awesome logo.
Yeah,
I'd like to see that shirt.
Let me show it off. This is actually this is a Planetary Society original. It's PlanetFest 81. Year I was born, so I like the shirt because of that. But we used to do these things at the Planetary Society back in the Carl days, called PlanetFest. And they started when the Voyagers were approaching the like outer planets. So I think PlanetFest 81 was gosh, embarrassing. I don't remember. Is that Uranus or Neptune?
I think that's Uranus.
It might have been, yeah. So they had this whole thing at like JPL in Pasadena near our headquarters, and like this big celebration. And Chuck Berry was there and like played, and Carl's up on stage dancing with him, and yeah. So that was Planet Fest 81.
That's a good year.
Good year.
Yeah.
Good year.
Damn. It's a nice shirt too. I would love if those are still a thing that you can buy.
Yeah, you can buy them from our store
Oh,
on
nice.
our website.
I gotta get one.
Go check them out.
That's great.
Sweet. Is there a Planet Fest 85?
I don't know. Good question.
I just want to copy you on the year I was born thing.
Yeah.
Planet Fest 91 would have sucked. I'll tell you that much. There was nothing going on there.
There was nothing.
No.
When was Neptune? Neptune would have been 80, maybe 86. We're all just fishing at straws
know.
if we don't.
Yeah,
have,
I wasn't
really-
alive, so I can just.
None of
claim
us have the internet in front of
negligence
us to
on
look,
this.
but, yeah.
Should we talk about what might happen in Planet Fest 2024?
2024 Planet Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like landing Artemis.
Yeah,
Planet
maybe.
Fest.
What time of the
Yeah.
year was Planet Fest? Can we do like December? Because that's going to be late in 2024 if this works out.
Like December 31st.
Yeah, it'll basically be a New Year's party as well.
It ain't gonna be early, that's for sure.
We were gonna do a Planet Fest like for the Mars rovers, all the Mars missions this year, but like, and it's our 40th anniversary, but then like the world ended, so we were like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'm saying let's do Planet Fest
2024.
2024.
2024.
How you
sounds
feeling
good.
about these moonlanders, Jason?
I mean, it's cool, right? If it works out. I can't poo on any of the concepts, like, right? You got Starship, that's cool. The Blue Origin national team, that's cool, great, good for them. And traditional aerospace working together. And then the random one, what was that? Is it Dynetics?
Dynetics, yeah. Not Dianetics, just Dynetics.
Dynetics and all the other space companies that weren't included in the previous
Yeah, basically 25 subcontractors. It's like, I don't know, what can you make us a bolt? Sure.
Is Dianetics the same company? Not Dianetics, sorry. not L. Ron Hubbard's teachings. I'm sorry, I don't want to get us all sued. No, Dynetics is they do stuff for like they built like the interstage on the SLS, right?
Yep,
Okay.
they're doing that adapter, and I think they were working on some other component like that as well. Well, maybe both. Maybe the one for ICPS, and then the one for EUS. They would also have that deal.
Yeah, so the Dynetics, I've actually been there. And funny story behind that, we did like 3 years ago when we were kind of doing like more, that's like 5 years ago, more at the Planetary Society. We didn't really have a very strategic framework, so it was just like everyone's best idea. Like it was very like, yeah, sure, do that, try that. So we did this thing called the Rocket Road Trip, where Casey and I went to all these NASA centers and did like
that was awesome. I
video
love
shoots.
that.
It was fun.
Yeah. That was the
a lot
year
of fun.
SLS was going to launch.
Yeah. Yeah, we went. We saw like they had just when we saw SLS at Michoud, they had just put it up in the vertical stand. They had finished like the liquid hydrogen tank or something, and I was sold. I was like, it looks like it's coming along pretty nicely, right? It can't be much longer, right? And,
Then you were, as you were walking out the facility, you heard a big metal bang, and they dropped the dome.
yeah, they dropped something. So we wanted to visit a supplier. And we went to Dynetics in Huntsville while we were there, and it was a bizarre experience. Like there were, because we just came in like very schleppy. Well, Casey always wears his suit, but like me and Merck, our videographer, just kind of rolled in, and they were all like, this is like Von Braun Symposium formal, where all the engineers are like all the aerospace companies everybody's wearing suits. And there was like a room with like 10 people in it to like interview to do for our filming and stuff. And I was just like, it was just very, it was overwhelming. Yeah. We were like, this is weird.
We're here for Planet Fest, not Business Fest.
Yeah. Yeah. But they were cool. They showed us around and all their stuff and everything. Yeah.
Their
So
thing
anyways-
looks sweet. Their lander looks like one that I would have that would show up in the design reference missions, like the PDFs that NASA put out every couple of years during the Ares program. It looks like a lander that would be drawn up as like an insert moon lander here kind of thing. Very low to the surface. Pretty rad looking, I think, overall.
Yeah.
It's hard when
also-
you're sitting next to Starship, but
It also kind of looks like if you like built a lander in Kerbal Space Program and then you tried it and you didn't have enough fuel, so you took it back, and you didn't want to change the design, so you just kept strapping fuel tanks to the outside of it until you had enough fuel, and then you're like, perfect, now it works.
That is kind of I feel like that's one that is interesting because you can be like, oh, it's refuelable. You just gotta dock fuel tanks to the side of it. Like I feel like it's missing a component that I need to see, which is like the tug that would attach these fuel tanks from distant orbits to wherever they are in near rectilinear halo. There's a new one now. What is it? You remember that one?
Yes.
Posigrade. I don't know. It's another weird one.
Yeah.
It's slightly lower.
LLO is just not cool anymore.
No, well, you can't get there with the Orion, man. My plan was to have Starship dock with Orion, which looks hilarious. Spin up Starship and then fling it like a momentum exchange tether to a lower orbit. This is a great plan to get it in and out of low lunar orbit. How do you feel about
I like
this?
it.
Mm-hmm.
Artificial gravity test on the way down. Maybe an issue after release, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. What's the delta V on a spinning Starship flinging a small Orion towards low lunar orbit?
Somebody do that study, and it'll be in the downlink next week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it comes off there, a few meters per second. Hey, that's not trivial.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Are any of these 2024 concepts actually going to make it to the surface in 2024 with people?
All right, so I think there was this NASA advisory committee meeting this week where they talked about all of this. It was the Human Exploration Subcommittee. And one of the things they said was, we like your plan, but please don't do too many trade studies. And I feel they were saying, like, if you get locked in this like a year-long cycle of trade study and decision points and trade study and decision point, that just keeps pushing. So if they end up making a decision, like, right when they need to, in the 7 or 10 month mark, whatever it is with these things, it's plausible there will be hardware. But the problem is, we were chatting about this in the Discord the other day, is like, everything requires a launch vehicle that hasn't flown yet. Every single piece.
Every single
No matter
one.
which lander you pick, no matter how the crew get there, every single thing requires New Glenn, Vulcan, SLS, or Starship Super Heavy. So it's like major... That's a major... And they're all already slipping dates, right? Starship not so, because it's kind of like, who knows what the date is. But the other three have already pushed years on end. But
yeah,
they all seem technically feasible.
Who is it that said that in the Discord? I can't remember, so I'm gonna fail to give credit properly.
I think it was Adam.
But someone,
That's what you're thinking of.
Adam, was like, any program that depends on a new launch vehicle effectively becomes a launch vehicle program. I thought that was a pretty good quote.
That was a couple. Maybe that was Lars. I think
Lars,
that
maybe.
one.
Yeah.
That little bit of advice. It's true though.
Lars
but
is typing. Yeah, it's him.
I think that it's cool to see the breadth of strategy that NASA is taking on this, because it's like, 130 million. Why would you not give that to SpaceX to see what happens with Starship? It basically keeps NASA as a stakeholder in Starship for the next 10 months. The other two asked for a lot more money, and they both seem like things that I think NASA would be comfortable with as 2024. I think the difference is the Dynetics one, like you were talking about with your anecdote there, feels like it would be the NASA lander. And the other one would have to track 3 different companies that they're all comfortable with, but it would track 3 different companies building 3 different pieces of hardware. Whereas the Dynetics is this single thing. So that's kind of the toss-up to me, which one they pick of those two.
Mm-hmm.
You think they'll do 2? They'll end up doing 2 on a down select?
I think they'll do a similar thing where they'll pick one Dynetics or the Blue Origin team as the 2024 lander, and keep the other one on contract for the future, and then they'll give Starship some more money to keep developing. Because my worry with Starship is, everyone's worry, is that, boy, do they need to refuel a lot of Starships to make that thing happen in 2024. And I don't think NASA is going to be comfortable, like, let alone saying Super Heavy and Starship will be flying by then, but flying enough to refuel these tankers and storage units.
And this lunar version is like, you got to launch a lander to Earth orbit, fuel it up however many times, get it to Moon orbit, then put another tanker in lunar orbit or Earth orbit, fuel that up, send it to the lander, transfer the fuel over. Like it's like there's like series of starships all in a row. So they have to have like something sitting in lunar orbit that's just the fuel depot
Buzz
for the
Aldrin is
landing
just like,
one.
cyclers.
Yeah, they're gonna need like 35 starships to make this thing happen, and it's like
They got them.
it's. And I know they're working
They're
on that
pumping 'em
whole
out.
production thing.
Every
They're
time
trying-
they blow one up, they're like, "Oh, here's another one." Yeah.
they're just all in a queue ready to. It's like a slaughterhouse, but yeah. So there's like a lot going on there that. That's my worry too. It's just like there's so much unknowns in how to operate this like conga line of refueling that I don't know. Like
Yeah.
Conga line of refueling. I hope that shows up in like the source selection document from NASA. Major risks assessed. The conga line of refueling. Now you
Yeah.
laugh, but that's the minute clip that we're going to take out of this show and play back in a year and a half when Jason's back on, and we hear the selection of the lander, and they're worried about the refueling conga line. Like, man, we've done it again.
We've done it.
Oh man.
So Anthony, can I or maybe Jason? I don't know. Either one of you. I have not been paying attention much this week. What's this whole thing with like the Artemis Accords and all this soft power stuff? What's going on here?
I haven't paid attention. I mean,
I read about it this morning.
well,
All
then
right,
you're
so
probably
let's-
the most educated.
I mean, yeah, you nailed it. It's the soft power accords. It's like, hey, we're gonna do some moon landings. If you want to come on board, please sign this line that says we can mine the moon. That's pretty much as straightforward as it is.
So,
Okay.
saying the U.S. is saying that if you want to be on board, say that we can mine the moon with restrictions, or like anywhere we want to, like where we land or where you land, or any of that built into it.
Yeah, basically, it's every like international policy plus safety zones around landers and exclusion zones, and the ability to do in situ resource utilization on the moon. Essentially, it. And they're keeping the gateway as the same international intergovernmental agreement that governs the ISS, that governs gateway. But everything going to the surface, if you want to come to the surface as part of the Artemis program, sign this line. So
It
they're putting
says-
China and Russia on the spot
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
are you good with this or not?
Mm.
So, and that seems to be the thing, right? Russia's already in on the gateway, so they're going to keep that as the ISS agreement. But if Russia gets on board with the landings, then they have to agree that collectively we can all dig stuff out of the lunar surface, make water or rocket propellant out of it.
To what extent is Russia in the gateway at this point? You know, because I know there were grand plans at first, like the big old gateway, and then that turned into the like not
The
so
bog,
big old gateway,
the big old
tiny
gateway.
yeah. Like the big old gateway, it was like Japan's adding a module, Europe's adding a module. We're gonna have so many modules. It's gonna be terrific modules, so many modules. And then it was like, actually, it's just gonna be a little power unit in Orion. That's
And then we're not
maybe
even going to dock
cus-
there. It's just going to be there.
Yeah, and maybe a Cygnus cargo ship that just adds a little extra space. That's it. So
Russia
so
says that they're in on an airlock. That's their...
they're in on a okay.
Yeah, that's what they
right.
say, but...
That was their
Okay,
thing.
Haven't
I
they
would
been building
believe
an
that
airlock
more
for
if
ISS
they
for
haven't...
like 30 years?
Yeah, they've built that new module that's been sitting on the ground with particulate in its fuel lines, and then something else happened, and
What's that, like Naka or something?
yeah, it still
Yeah.
is nowhere near the launch pad.
Yikes.
So, and like that's fine. Airlock, sure. Best part about an airlock is if it sucks, you just keep the hatch closed.
Yeah. What
This is
I
true.
mean, how else would you get outside the station without an airlock?
put on
Decompress
spacesuits.
Orion and
Yeah,
pop out that way. Yeah.
full on Gemini.
Full on Gemini.
Everybody has to suit up for when someone does a spacewalk.
FOG. Yeah.
The bog fog. The big old
The bog
gateway
fog.
full on Gemini.
I'm having these like manned orbital laboratory like flashbacks.
Yeah.
Now. I'm just like, this is basically what this is now, isn't it? If we can just revitalize, like bring a Titan out of commission, decommission, we could.
There's one
we
sitting
could
in
recreate it.
Ohio.
A Titan?
Yeah. I haven't went yet, but the Air Force Museum has a big old Titan on it.
Like
In
the
it.
Titan 2 or the original
4.
Titan or the
Full
the Titan
solids
4.
and all. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I gotta go there.
That's cool.
Huh. That's a big rocket. Those are big solids.
Yeah, they're basically shuttle, you know?
They're not nothing.
Yeah, that's a cool rocket to watch launch. Like if you watch the Voyager, look at the still photos of that thing lifting off. I mean, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Hypergolic and solids.
Yeah,
It
And
looks
it's got
horrible,
those like
but it
it's
also
got those
looks
like
awesome.
weird little tanks on the side that are like a different fuel that do the thrust vectoring for them, so like it can turn. It's
Yeah, the
it's
little
a bizarre
Vernier tanks.
Yeah, it's a bizarre
Is-
little rocket.
is it the one that does the core stage not light at liftoff for the Titan Centaur? Is that what its deal was? There was a rocket like that.
Oh, the
You
one
might
that
be
only
right.
lifted off with the boosters and then air lit the
Yeah,
core.
yeah.
I
then
think it
airlit
did
the-
light at launch, but
maybe not full thrust or something.
yeah, I mean that was a pretty weird rocket.
Yeah.
The Titan was one that they just kept adding on to. Like, kind of Ariane 4
Yeah.
in that way, where they
Yeah.
just kept slapping other parts on and new boosters
Yeah.
and other Vernier. We need more control. Put another rocket on it. Like, it was definitely full Kerbal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Discord saying it
Oh,
is
they
the
do.
one that,
All right,
that,
nice.
that does air light. Yeah. So cool.
It
Good-
ignites
good-
at T plus 9
good fact.
seconds or minutes. That's pretty weird. 9 seconds? That's like, why even?
Oh, 9 seconds? That's very
That's pretty
weird.
random.
Well, maybe they were worried about it, like the shot, the acoustics coming off of it,
Like they were
to
going to
light
blow
it.
the launch pad apart.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of like with the RS-25, they had remember on, yeah, we're really going down rocket rabbit holes here. But there was an original plan for Ares 1, I think. Like my knowledge of nerdy rocket things is all from like that era, and I think Ares 1, they originally for a while they were like, what if the upper stage used an RS-25, and then like someone pointed out like that you'd have to light it in a vacuum, and that had never been done essentially, and yeah. Anyway,
And they were worried about that?
Random rocket fact of the day. Well, I would imagine that if your rocket
Yeah,
engine normally lights on the ground, that doing it in vacuum is a wholly
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I'm just thinking. So shuttle never ever lit it anywhere besides right on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just
Yeah.
burned it all the way. What a powerhouse engine! It's just like, you know what? We're lighting it on the ground. We're taking it all the way to orbit. That's
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
People talk about the core stage of SLS sometimes about like it's a first stage, but like really when you get down to it, SLS is like a really big upper stage with two solid strap-ons. Like
Yeah,
the liftoff thrust like is like 80-90% of it comes from the solids, and then you just take the core stage almost all the way to orbit, right? So
yeah, basically.
yeah, it's a
That
big second
animation was going around for a while last week. Did you see that where they're comparing? It was like transparent rockets. It had Falcon Heavy. It had Space Shuttle, and yeah, it was cool. It's kind of
was rad.
mesmerized. Yeah.
Somebody should build one.
a transparent rocket.
It looked sweet. It was a great visualization. I'll post it in the show notes because
Tweet
that's
it at
worth a
Elon.
watch.
Elon, please.
He's
What
had a
else you wanna
couple of
talk-
weeks. I don't want to talk about Elon personally.
Yeah,
but-
no, don't strain
okay,
Elon.
Good.
Sorry.
Good.
Cool down period.
Jason, you love the RS-25. What would you be willing to pay for it?
For an RS-25. Let's see how big. I'm trying to think how big one is.
Big enough.
They're
Like
pretty big.
it could fit. I don't think it could fit in any room in the house. We'd have to have a whole. Yeah, I'm imagining the discussion with my wife. So, hon, the spare room. That's going to be the RS-25 room, and
Should be like, Jason,
need
I
to
swear
install
to
a
God, if
garage
you have
door."
$146 million laying around that I don't know about, I'm going to be pissed.
yeah, I've been secretly laundering money for the Mexican cartel, and so I've been watching a lot of Ozark lately, so that's like on the top of my brain. Do you guys want to launder money, perhaps?
Inside an RS-25. Maybe that's what they're
Inside an
doing
R-
with it.
Yeah. It just tumbles the dollars around inside.
They ship
to,
it around all these conventions, and they just
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
the
dollar
number one
bill
transport
stacks.
mechanism. They haven't taken it off of that like the forklift thing that it sits on in 40 years.
Yeah.
They've just been driving it around with drugs on it.
and all the internals of that structure is just it's just full of fat stacks. That's great.
Dynetics. I think Dynetics does like the engine controller or something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they're a vital part of the supply chain. Yeah. Oh, now we figured it out. Yeah.
If that was true, I feel like NASA's budget would be way bigger.
Yeah, you would think.
Huge. Way
Yeah.
bigger. Yeah. We got a plan at least.
the VAB, the walls of the VAB are just lined with.
There's always money in the VAB. You son of a bitch. There were $250 million lining the walls of the VAB.
Bob
This is going off
Cabana's
the
out
rails.
there under like a ninja suit on, like peeling a panel off, taking some stacks out of this under the NASA
Oh,
logo.
God.
Well, yeah, this has really gone off the rails.
We
but
have
in a
lost
good-
it in quarantine.
Oh my god.
We
Yeah,
need
really
space
need
news.
to know.
There's
Yeah.
2 stories that we covered already, so now we're on to this. I feel like we
What-
could
what
get
other- yeah.
Netflix funding though. If Space Force Netflix goes well, I feel like we have a good like Arrested Development, Kennedy Space Center kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot of titles to choose from.
We do have a lot of titles to choose from. That's always a good show when you have a lot of
Where
titles.
are we in the show? Are we at picks
Let's-
yet? Did you do a lightning round for Jason?
I did not do a lightning
No.
round. I haven't done a lightning
Oh,
round.
yeah,
That's
we have lightning. I don't know if I
terminal
remember lightning.
count. Terminal count for before Kurt jumps in the chat to
Yeah.
chide me for calling
Every
it the
once in a while,
wrong-
Jake gets kind of snarky, writes 10 questions. There's always some Mars propaganda in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We don't
Oh,
have
I
one.
did not prepare one. No.
You don't have one?
No.
This has been a huge disappointment.
I know. I spent all my extra off-nominal time getting that site ready.
Yeah, he's been
so
sourcing stuff for the JBFC since.
now I have this like bag of pins I got to deal with. So, yeah.
Are those the original pens? So those are
No.
really going to be collector's items.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
original ones are one of a kind. They were
Like, you
one
gotta get
print
'em-
run.
Can I sell this on eBay for like
Probably, yeah.
$50? Yeah.
Probably. But
It's
the new
limited
ones
edition, one of
are
100.
good to go. So,
Yeah.
one of 100, yeah.
Well, there's space news. Should we talk about? Or is there anything else that I don't know what your time? Do you usually run an hour?
DM2?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
yeah, the
that whole
biggest
thing
story.
happening.
Are you guys
Yeah.
nervous for that? Is it like are you excited or are you more nervous?
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah,
I'm more
I'm-
excited, but I'm a little nervous.
I'm pumped, man.
Are you not nervous at all?
Nah,
Anthony?
they've been
You look
assigning
like
crew
you're
to
just
Crew 1. Listen, here's the thing that gives it away. They're scheduling Crew 1, which is the first rotation flight with Crew Dragon, or they're scheduling the return of DM2 based on the schedule of Crew 1, which means they are so confident in DM2 that they are willing to let DM2 be up on the space station, Bob and Doug joyriding the ISS until a month before everyone else
Yeah.
is ready to launch, and then they'll bring them home. So, there's an outside chance that things go crazy, but
Yeah.
I don't think they'll go full Starliner.
God, I hope they don't go full Starliner. Well, then they could hit the button and like.
Yeah,
fix
that's
it.
right. We can really
Yeah.
prove out that whole the Astros would have fixed it thing.
Astros
Yeah.
in the loop. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I took the day off too, and yeah, I'm gonna do. We got to figure out what we're gonna do, Anthony. I don't know. We've been talking about something we're gonna do.
It's only
but
10
we gotta-
days out.
Yeah, man.
It's coming up. It's coming up.
It's
but
prime
I'm-
time too. 4:30 Eastern.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect timing.
That's so good.
They want
Yeah.
full good lighting right in the middle of the day for
Oh,
that
yeah.
thing, I assume.
Just past noon, so it's lit. The rocket's lit as it heads downrange.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, Bob
Recovered
and Doug,
forces
that's an
are-
interesting thing. If they're scheduled for such a long period of time, how would you plan your time on the space station if you knew you were going to be there between 1 and 4 months or whatever it is?
Like planet from
Just
a recreational
personally.
standpoint?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. How many weekends on the ISS do you got to plan for here?
Let's see. Well, that's a good question. Like, how much
How do you psychologically prepare yourself for that?
how much free time do they get? Like, they get off days, I know, but like, can you just because it seems like Mission Control schedules them to like the minute. Like, it's crazy how intensely scheduled they are, and so I'm wondering, like, can you just pop off to can you take a mental health day and say, you know what, I'm just gonna go hang out in the cupola because this is bullshit, you guys. I'm gonna that up.
That's a great question, though. Are there sick days?
Yeah, are there sick days?
That's such a
Mental
good
health
question
days.
I've never heard answered. Answered. I don't know what answered is.
They're like, we know you didn't catch a cold.
yeah, right.
Yeah, what if you just
Yeah.
you didn't sleep well, you're just
Yeah.
you're behind on your task list. Can you be like, you know what, I've got the off day on Saturday, I'm going to swap that with Tuesday?
Yeah.
It's a great
I
question,
don't know.
Jason.
I get the feeling they can't. I get the feeling, or if they can, it's very. They would feel pressured to do that. That's just my guess. Because the astronaut corps astronauts just seem like this whole different breed of person to me, where they're like, like the best non-volatile
And
not
violent.
non-violent, and astronauts notoriously violent. Punch you in the face. The slightest transgression. No, they just it's just they're so straight and narrow. It just seems like they would just go from day to day, getting their tasks done, and not experience the ups and downs of life that the rest of us do. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe now, that's more dynamic. I don't know.
Yeah.
It will change drastically. This is actually the most interesting part of Commercial Crew when it comes to the ISS. Is it's going to change drastically next year when there's way more astronauts on station, because we're gonna go from 2 to 4 NASA, ESA, JAXA astronauts per year on the ISS to that many per flight. Do
you think can there be hijinks? Can there be shenanigans?
Definitely.
I would like to see more hijinks and shenanigans.
There's already
there's going to be a lot more time in the schedule for hijinks.
So.
Yeah. There's already what?
There's already dudes in gorilla suits up there, so.
I didn't see that.
That was Mark Kelly, or no, Scott Kelly.
Scott
Oh, I
Kelly,
thought this was a recent story. I was like, shit, I just did headlines today. Did I miss
No,
this?
this is old.
No.
The Tom Cruise thing. That's a really good
saying Tom Cruise.
Tom
yeah.
Cruise. What do you make of the Tom Cruise thing?
So is he going to bring up are they going to bring a camera person with him? Is that
It could be a whole flight of Axiom. It could be an Axiom entire flight.
Yeah.
That's Anthony's theory, is that they're gonna reuse the Dragon on an Axiom flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how do I feel about it personally? I'm fine with it. I'm just like,
You're just fine with it? You're not pumped?
You're not like jazzed? You're not just over the moon with this?
Not really. I mean, I'll be honest. I haven't seen so Tom Cruise, for me, there was early Tom Cruise where you're like, oh yeah, this is Mr. Cool. And then, the whole Scientology thing and Katie Holmes happened. And so Tom Cruise was kind of down on the, I don't know about Tom Cruise. But then lately, I feel like he's been kind of on the, upswing, because they're like, this guy still does all of his own stunts. Yeah. He's in his late, I don't know, how old is he now? Late 50s? Yeah,
he's getting up there, right?
Yeah. He's he jumps off of airplanes and helicopters and trains and whatever.
And he's side of the C-130 and take off or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Airbus
he's a cool guy. And I feel like we've largely forgotten about his Scientology craziness and everything. Please don't sue me, Scientology.
It's the second time you brought that up today. It's really on your mind.
What the hell? It's a very subconscious thing. So I guess when the news came, I was like, all right, yeah, cool, but not super pumped. I mean, I'll be happy to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, here's the reason I'm pumped is that the Top Gun 2 trailer seems to show him in some sort of flight suit at the end, and I'm wondering if Top Gun 3 is going to be that badass.
Ooh.
Top Gun 2, end of Top Gun 2, they're like, we got a new mission, a DM mission for you here. And then he hops in some sort of space vehicle, and then next Top Gun 3 is now he's an astronaut.
Yeah, what could they possibly do, though, aboard the ISS that would be that cool from a movie-making standpoint?
Oh my God.
That's
Now, this is the clip that I'm going to play back as Jason's bad take in a year and a half when he comes down. What could they possibly do? The movie in space.
Yeah, but it's with special effects and everything, there's nothing aboard the ISS other than the weightlessness. I say that it's the most trivial thing. Other than the weightlessness.
Other than the gigantic laboratory with several windows and airlocks and space vehicles that come and go at any time.
Yeah. It's 7 kilometers a second around the world. And no, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I scrolled briefly through, is it David Garrett? Owen Garrett? Yeah, because he made a movie in space when he did his tourist flight, and I think that was a corny, low budget-ish thing, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
but I haven't
kind
really
of saying
watched
that Chris Hadfield made a couple of movies. It was that's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I'd love to have Owen on the show.
I stand waiting to be corrected on the Tom Cruise amazing movie in space. Yeah.
Listen, when it comes out, we're gonna figure out. I hope the pandemic's over. We're gonna all go to the movies together, and whatever it is, I don't care what movie it is, we're gonna see it.
Just,
I wonder if you'll be able to convince someone to let him do an EVA.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
Why not?
Will the Axiom module have an airlock? I don't know if there's any.
Eventually.
Gemini.
Eventually, yeah. Full on Gemini. Go full on Gemini.
Phase something of it, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm excited for, as our Discord is now calling it, Toppest Gun. Top Gun 3, Toppest Gun.
It's instead of Russians or Iranian planes, it's just Starlink satellites that he's got to fight off.
An evil genius has taken over SpaceX and is commanding all the Starlinks to go straight for the ISS, and only one man can save them.
Like Starlink actually did a complete inclination change maneuver, and they're like, "How would you know that? You were above it." And he's like, "I was inverted." God, I love Top Gun.
There's some terrorist who is like really feels strongly about the whole night sky astronomy issue, and is like, they're gonna render low Earth orbit useless for years. So he's like, now I'm going to the station. Yeah, that could be a good premise for the movie.
Eco-terrorist. That's some Red Mars shit right there.
Yeah. That is some Red Mars.
Oh, man.
Goes rogue with a bunch of fans on Mars blowing bacteria around. Yeah.
Should we do picks, Jake? Did we tell Jason about picks? I feel like we didn't tell Jason about picks.
We were all secretly hoping he'd remember from 2 years ago.
I remember. Yeah, you have a pick. I got a pick, yeah.
Okay. What's your pick? Hit us up.
I'm just going, it's a very easy, straight down the middle pick, but SpaceX's docking simulator.
Oh, yes.
I cannot stop playing that thing. Just randomly at different times, since it's come out, I'll just kind of sit down and be like, I'm gonna dock the Dragon and just start playing with. And sometimes I actually do it, like I do it full on, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see how fast I can do it. Because you can do it so many different ways. You can do like a speed run, and just slow down at the last minute, or you can just ram the ISS as hard as you want. You can fly around it, and it's a lot of fun. I really like that docking simulator.
We had someone in the Discord trying to do it backwards. That was the challenge we had. So to like,
ooh,
yeah. So
I have really bad news. I haven't played it yet.
Oh my goodness, Anthony.
Well, here's what happened. I pulled it up. I was on my Mac. I pulled it up, and I was like, wow, this isn't made for a keyboard and mouse situation, from what I can tell, because there's no help documentation on this sucker.
No docs.
I figure should probably pull it up on my iPad. What have you been doing on? You did like a two-handed maneuver, Jason. I feel like you've been playing it on like a phone or iPad or something.
Yeah, well, my gestures don't match reality.
Okay. You're just doing.
No, I just do it on the PC or my Mac.
Are there keyboard things?
There are apparently keyboard shortcuts.
People are saying WASD and arrow keys.
Yeah, I thought I had tried that and they didn't work, and so I was like, there are no keyboard shortcuts. And then someone's like, no, dude, it's the normal keyboard.
There is nothing more disappointing to me than the fact that there's not a KSP control mode.
Exactly.
Like the weird, that bums me out.
HJKL or whatever.
Yeah, because if that was the case, it wouldn't even be fun. It would just be, I would be right in on it.
Yeah. It was fun to play. I'm really glad they made that. It was pretty neat. What a great way to do some outreach, though. It was like, I think Anthony, we should probably just make you just keep working on that wine and do it live on Twitch. Is what we need to do.
Well on the way there. Yeah. Yeah, we got this video power.
If only there was a platform designed to stream someone playing video games on the internet. Yeah.
While hilariously drunk.
Anthony, you want to do your pick?
Sure. We're at a good time of the year here. It's starting to get springtime in most places that listen to this show, which means in the Northern Hemisphere. Weather's nice. You're at home, probably not doing much travel because of the pandemic. Probably got kids at home, like Jason was saying, homeschooling. This is a fantastic time to buy a telescope. If you are out there listening to this show and you have the means to buy a cheap telescope, you don't even need an expensive telescope. A couple $100 will do, even less if you want. Depends on what kind. You get a big 8-inch Dobsonian like I've got. It's pretty cheap. It's just a steel tube with a mirror at the back. Get a couple of eyepieces and you're good to go. it's going to be a great summer. We've got Mars coming up. Towards the end of the summer, it'll be good nighttime viewing because of the Mars transfer window. We've got Jupiter and Saturn that are going to be up all summer long. So it's going to be a really good planetary summer because that's the best part. You don't even need to be doing like the pillars of creation and like, you don't need to be Hubble about it. Do some planetary stuff. Get the kids out back. It's a nice astronomy class as part of homeschooling. Like, this is a fantastic time to just buy a telescope. So that's my recommendation.
Yeah.
That's a good pitch, man. That's well done.
It's the perfect time. Spring to summer, you're going to be at home, probably working from home, so you don't need to wake up early to commute, so you can stay up a little later, shift the schedule around. You got homemade class there. Your spouse won't even be mad at you for taking the kids out late because you're telling them it's educational. Blow their little minds with the rings of Saturn.
And I'll echo too, like an $80 telescope, you can see the moons of Jupiter. Like you do not need a lot to get started.
I'm gonna say don't get a lot. Just get something simple. Look at the planets. Look at the moon. It's amazing.
Yeah, the best one. This is a cliche, but it's very true. The best telescope is the one that you use. Like, you get a giant one that's too complicated, and you're not gonna want to get it out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the person that has like, I gotta buy all the attachments and the accessories and 18 different eyepieces, which I admit I am that guy as well sometimes. Simple stuff.
Yeah, I've got an 8-inch reflector, so it's a kind of a hassle to get out. Like, it's so heavy, you gotta plug it around.
That's what I got too. It's fun.
Yeah, but once you get it out, it's really cool. And I've discovered with mine, you can get, like, if you want to take the next step, which you were just recommending not to, but if you want to go like all nerdy astrophotography, like I got a mount for my phone, and the night mode on both Android and iPhone these days is just amazing. Like what it can do, you can line the eyepiece of your phone up, and I was taking Orion pictures and just with just like a 25 millimeter eyepiece on it, or what, maybe 35, I can't remember. But and you can bring out some color and everything with just the standard iPhone or Android. Yeah, it's cool stuff.
100%. So I'm gonna do a shameless plug.
Yes.
For a pick. I have a new shirt design up. So while you're on the site buying your Jim Bridenstine fan club membership, you can also add in a new Dragon Worm t-shirt for DM2. Anthony, can you bring it up and show?
I'm pulling it up for everybody.
Oh, yes.
Because I've already ordered mine. It's on the way.
I'm pretty excited about this design. I took an Adobe Illustrator course, and
you can
really
tell he's got
muscles.
JBFC, the
just
NASA
really
worm
flexing
shirt.
those muscles. Yeah. So made this in Illustrator. It's a real SVG and everything, but it's got the NASA worm on it, the logo type, everyone's favorite new logo, and so you can grab it for DM2 if you wanna participate.
I think I linked the Twitch to the youth version, but buy it for your kids as well.
Yeah, that's right. I have kids.
And you put kids
sizes.
shirts up.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm trying that, so I'm seeing how they turn out. But you can get kids versions of Dragon Worm too, all the way down to your little toddlers.
This is cool. You guys got a lot of cool shirts on here.
We're trying.
Yeah.
Some of them just look cool and don't actually sell any, though. I'll straight up admit it.
You just have such handsome models, like just to promote these. Yeah. Yeah.
Jason's loving the printful models, man.
I am really loving the models.
Listen, they're not too far from you, so you could probably, if you want an extra gig, drive out to LA, do some modeling for the printful folks.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I think you got it. I'm looking at you in this Planetary Fest shirt. I think you
do
got what it takes.
They need the middle-aged dad model on here. The rando dude. Yeah.
They've been doing a good job of diversifying their models too. It used to be there was like a couple white guys you could pick, and then now they have a whole assortment of different shapes and sizes. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't do any models on my site because of what I mentioned earlier, that I feel like weird about them having to have signed a release that they can put anything they want on them.
You just, even though they agreed to it, you don't want to take it.
Yeah, I want to see the agreement before I'll put them on my site, essentially. I'd like to see what they signed.
I like the one picture here. There's a dude wearing your 27 Falcon Heavy shirt, and he appears to be in this picture standing in like Times Square in New York or
I'm gonna
something,
pull this up.
which is pretty cool. You know, your shirt has made the rounds.
Yeah, that one is
Where's
they made
this
the model.
picture at?
It's like one of the
It's the
like
last.
the hero images at the top.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
they made
Oh,
that
yeah.
shirt like that model you just cut out on a transparent background, and so I
Yeah,
just
it
like
looks pretty
grabbed.
cut out.
I wanted something interesting, so I just grabbed a picture. I think it is Times Square. We'll
That's
find
amazing.
out, but
I
some
feel like-
stock photo.
Yeah. Anyway, they're cool shirts. I endorse these shirts.
Thanks. So that's it. That's my plug. That's my
All
pick.
Jason, I would love you for you to tell people where they can find you and all the things that you're a part of if they have not partaken in the wonderful bounty of content from the Planetary Society.
Yeah, how do we
Yes.
sign up for the downlink?
You can go to planetary.org/connect. And you see that? You see some hand motions there again. /connect. It even did a slash. I believe that is the proper link. I better make sure that actually works.
We're all
I'd
frantically
love if it's not.
typing
It does.
in.
It works.
It does, yeah. Yeah, you can sign up
See
there
it.
for the downlink. You'll get our on our newsletter. And yeah. And planetary.org, we got all your sweet content there, or at least what we have to offer. I can't guarantee it's sweet.
I've been reading it, man. It's a great one. Goes in the RSS feed. Check that out. I love the little roundup of like all the missions, because there's been a lot of planetary missions that are actively doing stuff these days.
Yeah, it's really hard to separate that from all the other stuff that's happening. Like sometimes I find it just randomly, I stumble across it and be like, oh, wow, yeah, JWST did a cool thing, or there was some random Europa finding from old Galileo data that I didn't know about, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
We got a couple sample returns coming home soon, pretty soon too, right? I mean, Hayabusa is going to be on its way back.
Cyrus
Rex will leave.
Yeah.
I think they leave at the end of the year, right? Because they sample this summer, and then like fall or winter they head back.
Yeah, sounds
They don't
right.
get back for a while though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really long. I'm not sure what the reasoning is, if there's some difference in trajectories from Bennu and Ryugu, or yeah. But
Wild.
anyway, I love these little asteroid missions. Like, these asteroids are just so cool. When they get those horizon, like, off-nadir shots, where it just feels like you're standing on them, just so cool. Like, yeah, boulders. Boulders are cool, man. Yeah.
The scale is always hard of those to understand of those
Yeah,
ones, because
it
they
is,
always
yeah.
give you that helpful thing that's like the boulder in the bottom is the size of a Hummer, and you're like, oh, okay, that's gigantic. I didn't realize it was that big. I thought this was
Yeah,
like
look-
rocks I was looking at.
Looks like a pebble. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always way bigger than I
Yeah.
thought. They're always way less zoomed in.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Yeah, they never get that close.
Jake,
I think that's a show.
that's the show.
Yeah.
Bye, Jason.
All right. See you guys later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End of test.
Nice.
Always abrupt.
Always abrupt. That's how we do it.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a great show. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We got a nice crowd here.
Yeah.
It's been fun, guys. Love coming by, having a beer
Jason,
with.
you're the greatest.
Yeah.
No, you are the greatest. Sir.
I want to give a shout out to Tucson as well.
Oh, thank you.
I was there last summer, and it was
You were here
amazing.
last summer?
I was, yeah. We
Ooh,
were there.
summer is a rough time to come to. 'Cause
That's fine. We went out early, got to the pool by the mid-afternoon, did Saguaro, did the Boneyard.
nice.
Awesome.
Nice,
When's
yeah.
the last time you've been to that museum?
Which
The,
the Boneyard?
No, well, the the Pima Museum.
Team Air in Space?
Yeah.
It's been a couple years.
Because you can like touch an SR-71.
Yeah, you can. They take it, and they have that old Super Guppy out there in the lot.
I
and
know. I
everything.
touched that one as well.
Yeah. Well, they just kind of leave you to wander around
Yeah,
that
they're
lot.
like, have
There's,
fun.
like,
There's
an old Air Force One and stuff there.
it's
yeah.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
rad. I love
It's a
Tucson
cool
though.
place.
I'm gonna be
Go
back.
to the if you come back, go to the Titan II Missile Museum. That's another cool one.
We
I've
ran out
done
of
that.
days, but
You've done that?
yeah.
I was very little. I didn't know what it was at the time, and then I like got into space and became an adult, and I was like looking it up. I'm like, oh my god, I've been at this. I remember this now. It surfaced. The memory came back. So yeah,
That's amazing.
Yes, it's super cool.
I remember the big blast door. Down in the silo, and they're like, look at this door. It weighs 30,000 tons. And you're like, wow, that's a lot. And they're like, come here, little boy. And I went up, and they're like, you can close it with your pinky. And I closed the door with my pinky because it was on these beautiful hinges or whatever they were, right? And that was the big show. But
yeah, sometimes the curators get really into it, like pro-American, like the Ruskies couldn't touch us with this big missile sitting in the silo, and it's just a delight to go take the tour. Yeah.
Love it. Sweet.
All right, cool.
Well, have a good Sunday, Jason.
Yeah, see you guys later.
See you later. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, do I have to do anything here on this?
I should. Yeah.
No, that's just Jake's technology that he's running.
And then it'll upload your track, and then you can once it says you're good. I think you're good.
Yep, says your audio upload is complete. All right, cool.
You're set.
Boom.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks.
See you, Jason.
Take
We love
care.
you.
I love you. Perfect awkward ending.
Amazing. Sweet. Let's close
Where are
this
we still
sucker up.
broadcasting here?
We're everywhere.
Everywhere. We're still on Twitch.
We're still on Twitch. I'm about to hang up on Twitch. But we do want to say, if you're listening on Twitch, thank you. Number one.
Thank you.
Number two, follow or like or do whatever it is. I think it's follow on Twitch. Because 10 days from now, there's DM2. Well, maybe we'll do a pre-show stream and then break for the... nobody's going to want to watch us stream the launch.
No, I don't want to do that either. I
No.
want to watch it. So
Right.
But yeah, I think a pre-show might be in order. We'll see. Figure something out.
I think... so we're going to do a pre-show, and I'll do the docking sim in the pre-show.
Okay, I like it.
We'll hype it. Because I want to make sure I've got the text sorted out here.
Okay.
I want to make sure it works well. So we'll do a pre-show, maybe, an hour before launch or something like that. We'll figure out our schedule. We'll post it. We'll tweet it. But we'll be here. Yeah.
Cool. And thanks to everyone who bought a fan club membership. They're rolling in.
Love it.
Yeah.
Bye, Twitch.
Bye, Twitch.
That very professional end to a Twitch stream.